Yeah. The machines, yeah, they've increased wages. The real wages of workers have multiplied more than four times. Oh. Now, I want to mention, yes, mhm, that you issuing a dissolution of marriage where I got no notice of it. Yeah. Mhm. Where the United Nations didn't issue it right now. Mhm. You're very much complicit in a crime of the availability of the theft of intellectual property. Now, Ms. Budnick, the teacher, yes, is not similar to myself. Ouch! I'm actually the intellectual spouse. Ouch! Now, Ms. Budnick, yes, issued a dissolution of marriage that gives her the availability of, well, contesting a divorce, yes, where there's the involvement of large amounts of money. Now, let's say I really am a trillionaire. Yes. Thinking about the number of man hours necessary to purify any municipal water supply. Yeah. And that ground that goes to that piece of metal that I redesigned to conduct electricity so that it is a certain temperature. Yes. So that the ground removes the excess electricity. Yes. It goes someplace. It's a useful byproduct of the manufacturing of water. Now I could use it for a purpose. Yeah. I could sell it. Now, the fraud of the dissolution of marriage. Let's say I'm a trillionaire. Yeah. And you're sitting there in the sheriff, and you happen to know that I did not get any notice of court hearings when issuing a dissolution of marriage. Right. And at that time, being the homeless individual, yes, my wife said, well, he's going to have to pay child support and he has to get a job. Ah! Now I have this intellectual property that I've been documenting in these videos, in the emails. And you're going to sit there and help my wife commit the crime of theft. Yes. Now, it's not just the $10 theft, yes, where I'm going to pay for each page of the dissolution of marriage. Right. It's the $1 trillion theft that you're getting sued for today. It's going to be one of those $100 billion days, ooch, where Ms. Budnick, yes, thought it was humorous that Paul didn't get a notice of the settlement conference setting hearing. No, no, no. Paul didn't get a notice of the actual non-jury trial, Judge Rower. Yes. See, the thought was that she was going to put the $180,000 of unsecured debt on myself. Yes. You were going to award child support of approximately $1,600 a month so that she could get paid. Yes. And that I would never have custody of my sons because I didn't get any notice of court hearings. Now, eventually, this family thought, well, he'll have to just go to court and pay for copies of it. Yes. He can't get married without a copy of it. Yes. And there are a lot of other legal documents that require the proof of dissolution of marriage. Maybe a will, a probate, a trust, or one of these right now. But the problem is I've documented so much intellectual property that I'll need to patent it. Poop! Now, let's say I did have the availability of patenting my intellectual property. And my wife says we're married. I made a mistake during the dissolution of marriage. I didn't give you a copy of the dissolution of marriage because I wanted to manipulate the situation so I would get child support. Yes. But knowing of the intellectual property during the marriage that I had documented to my wife in confidence. Yes. The upside down windmill on the heat pump. Boo-wee! It seems that when speaking to a wife during marriage, yes, one of us was the intellectual and the other one wasn't. Yes. Now, while living in Vancouver, I had mentioned while owning the Suburban, yes, when it cost me $100 to fill up the gas tank, that there must be a way to increase the amount of electricity. Yes. And we had a heat pump at 2204 McLaughlin Boulevard, my last known address on my driver's license. And for some reason right now, you decided to help facilitate, yes, the theft of intellectual property that had been talked about during our marriage.